me to steal it.
What?
I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
So that's it. Simple as that. Steal a declaration.
Just walk into Washington, D.C. We know a few friends down there. Maybe they can help us.
So listen, there's never been like an easier or better hook, I feel, for a movie than this movie's We Gotta Steal the Declaration of Independence. Like, that got the asses in the seats.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, you just need to steal this thing. It's so intriguing. I need to know, how is this possible?
Yeah, that's never has it been simpler. A more simple yet complex plot device to get people to watch a movie, because it's all right there. It's all right there in that line.
This is episode 45 of the Last Row Podcast. Welcome back to everybody that's been listening. Welcome all new listeners. If you're looking for us on the web, thelastrowpodcast.com, on Twitter at thelastrowpod, facebook.com/thelastRowPod, Google+, Google Play, and most importantly, head out to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. Got another review today. We'll read it at the end of the show. Thank you to everybody that's taken the time to leave us a review. Much appreciated. What's going on, Badway?
So hopefully one day our podcast will be successful enough that someone will want to steal your microphone.
We got to break in to Last Row Studios to steal the declaration of the microphone. There's, take it apart. There's some codes written on the inside of it.
We'll give you guys a scavenger hunt. We could do that for you guys. National Treasure is an all-time favorite of many people. Nicolas Cage, maybe top 5 Nicolas Cage movie of all time, maybe.
Let's put it this way. We got a lot of requests to do this film. And Nicolas Cage is everybody's favorite actor. Let's be real.
Maybe we could try to rank some of these Nic Cage movies at the end of the episode. But it's probably easily in the top 5, right?
Easily top 5 for me. Easily. Like we did Face Off before. You know, we've done Gone in 60 Seconds. Those are in the upper echelon of Nicolas Cage movies, but this one's definitely up there. We haven't seen Con Air on this show yet. We've watched it. Maybe one day we'll do that one, but this is definitely up there. It's more serious than most.
Some would say that this movie is the Gone in 60 Seconds of history buffs. No one says that.
No, you know what they do say? You know what they do say?
What do they say?
They say they don't make movies like this anymore.
They don't make them like... You know who says that? Old people.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
We've said that before on this podcast about other things.
You know, like, I haven't seen Stranger Things yet, but Stranger Things came out. That's how they used to make them.
They don't make them like they used to until they make them like Stranger Things.
We've had this conversation a lot of times on this show. They made them like they used to with Stranger Things. With this one, this is how they used to make them, and they don't make these anymore.
All right.
Off my old man soapbox. Can you tell I'm hopped up on cold medicine right now?
All right. So, National Treasure, made in 2004, back when they used to make movies like they did. Directed by John Turteltaub, who directed movies the way you used to like people to direct movies.
And he's still doing it to this day.
So, this guy's under the radar. He may have made some of your favorites, such as Cool Runnings.
They don't make them like they used to.
Three Ninjas.
Don't make them like they used to, Badway.
Disney's The Kid, starring Bruce Willis.
Definitely don't make them like they used to.
Phenomenon, starring John Travolta. That's sad
they
movie.
Make them like they make them like
they
that.
They make them like they used to there.
For that one.
So, what is National Treasure, you ask?
Give me a synopsis.
Historian and codebreaker, not Jericho codebreaker.
Don't you think that calling him a codebreaker, not to interrupt you already, you read 2 words and I already interrupted you. Codebreaker is, like, did he write his own description of what he does? That's like me saying I'm a professional podcaster. Like,
he's a code breaker. He can solve puzzles. A puzzle solver? That sounds stupid.
Is he doing the crossword puzzle in the New York Times?
He could do it, knock it out in 10 minutes flat.
That's what he's doing. All right, I'll let you finish.
But to call a guy a puzzle solver is pretty weak. So he's a code breaker. Sounds tougher.
All right, I'll give it to him.
Ben Gates has been searching his whole life for a rumored treasure dating back to the creation of the United States. Joining an expedition led by fellow treasure hunter Ian Howe, Gates finds an ice-locked colonial ship in the Arctic Circle that contains I can't read this. That contains a clue linking the treasure to the Declaration of Independence. Run-on sentence much.
Thanks a lot, Google.
But when Howe betrays him, Gates has to race to get to the document ahead of his so-called colleague.
Would you call them colleagues? Let's deconstruct this movie for a minute.
Yeah.
This movie is not really about stealing the Declaration of Independence. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It's more about Benjamin Franklin Gates and his failed family of history buffs and treasure hunters
Yeah.
going up against professional financiers like Liquid Snake himself, Sean Bean.
You see, about 5 people will get that joke of our 50 listeners.
But for real though, it's not about the treasure hunt itself. It's more like a kind of a guy against guy.
It's about
type
the
thing.
partnership, the feud, the partnership that turned into the feud. I would say, yeah. Are they colleagues? What's the definition of a colleague? I guess they're partners.
You work together.
They don't, but they're not in the same field though. Ian does not, aka Sean Bean.
Excuse me, Scene
Bean, right? Does not know a thing about history, right?
He doesn't care about it either. He's the kind of guy that's in the back, literally financing you to do his notes for him.
Yeah, he's saying, Ben, you know what? I don't care. I gave you the money to get here. Go find the thing so we can get this treasure.
That's where he earned the title of skilled financier. In his history class, he was paying people to take the test for him.
Exactly. So yeah, he was saying, I'm going to give you this money so that you may find me more money. That's all this guy's doing.
So I want to break it down. Where do these guys meet? Where do you meet a financier for this treasure hunting stuff? Like, is it at a banquet for something? Is it on a Kickstarter? Did he have a Kickstarter to find like?
Maybe Nic Cage was I'm going to have a hard time differentiating Nic Cage from Ben Franklin from Ben Gates, who they're all the same person.
Nic Cage.
His middle name is Franklin, Ben Franklin Gates. All right, so it's possible that he crowdfunded this thing, right? And maybe the largest financier came through and said, listen, let's forget all this crowdfunding. I'll give you everything you need as long as I get my 60% or whatever he was going to keep.
I'll give you amazing mechanized like machines that will take you across the Arctic.
Yes.
I will give you everything you need. How do you convince a guy like, yeah, by the way, there's this long lost treasure of the Templars. Like, you know, people watch the History Channel. They say it's become a joke because of this stuff.
Yeah.
You watch this show, Oak Island. They think that the treasure of Oak Island, could it be? You know, if anyone is listening and watches that show, I really have an enjoying time watching that. But back to the show, back to the movie. Do you believe this guy? Like, if you're a financier, like, is this guy basically a dumbass? I mean, if you're a financier, shouldn't you be putting your money into the stock market?
Yeah, I think he's giving financiers a bad name with going with the treasure hunter, right?
Yeah,
seems pretty farcical, pretty fanciful.
Maybe his name should be Treasure Hunter instead.
Yeah,
but he's not actually hunting. He's like kind of along for the ride. He's riding co-pilot.
He's the money bags.
Where do you think they met? Did they meet at some type of banquet?
See, I like to think that Sean Bean's character Ian is the kind of person who takes advantage of people.
Yeah.
So maybe he saw an opportunity to invest a little bit of money in this nutball on the off chance that he's right. Worst case scenario, he might get some kind of valuable artifact out of the deal. Worst case scenario, which he did.
He found a pipe.
So worst case scenario, you sell the pipe and he'll at least recoup his money.
He's got it back in the off chance that
and that's like
right.
the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, there's trillions of I don't even know how to count of dollars worth of treasure to be found. So really, maybe it's not that big of a risk on his part.
So let's break down the individual characters and then talk about a little bit more about their partnership. First up, Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Yes.
Former U.S. Navy diver, amateur cryptologist. That's more like it.
Hello.
Instead of codebreaker.
Yeah.
Descendant of a long line of treasure hunters.
Yes.
Failed treasure hunters.
Failed.
Because they didn't find anything.
Yeah.
He's got a degree in American history from Georgetown and a mechanical engineering degree from MIT.
Very respectable.
How do you get into this line of work with that kind of background?
You got to believe, man.
I mean, in the beginning of the movie, they showed him with his grandfather. His grandfather was telling him this story about how this treasure existed. He was giving him the whole rigmarole, the background, the wonder, the awe that your grandfather would tell in a story. And his dad comes in. Jon Voight, just Buzzkill City, man.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. This is a joke.
Well, no.
Buzzkill City.
He wasted 20 years of his own life. Jon Voight did.
Listen, Jon Voight should have spent another 20 years. Maybe he'd have been as successful as his son.
All right. So let's clear this out of the way right now. Are we going to name these characters by their real names or by their character names?
No, let's go by their real name.
So we're going to go Jon Voight, Seed Bean, and we're going Nic Cage. Okay,
Nic Cage.
All right. So good to know.
Definitely.
Okay. So Jon Voight, the father of Nic Cage in this movie.
Right.
So he wasted 20 years of his life hunting down these treasures. He grew up, right? his father, Nic Cage's grandfather, and Nic Cage himself, they never grew up. And that is how you become a treasure hunter. You just never grow up.
You never grow
continue
up.
to believe your childhood stories.
All I can think about is this Oak Island show, by the way. Like, I keep thinking about Oak Island, and they're
Those
like
guys
real people.
never grow up.
They're real people. They read the article in the Reader's Digest, and they're spending their fortune. They have financiers. Maybe Sean Bean is one of the people financing them.
See, I think that Sean Bean, like, this is a family history, right? The grandfather, the father, the great-grandfather, long line of treasure hunters. He probably very, very well known, maybe a little ridiculed in the community. He thought there was a chance to take advantage.
And that's what it seemed like. It seemed like Nic Cage was trying to basically like vindicate his family in the name, because they've gotten this negative reception in the community of historians and people. They're looked at like a joke.
They're loonies. And Jon Voight has had enough. He's had enough of it.
So what's he doing? Like, is he just going to go become like a high school history professor? What's his job?
He donated the what is it? The
Silence Do-Good letters.
The Silence Do-Good letters. I'm done with them. I'm going to donate them. There's no hidden code in the Do-Good letters.
By the way, how could you get rid of the Silence Do-Good letters?
You can't get rid of the Silence Do-Good letters.
The Silence Do-Good letters. Come on, man.
Can't do it.
That's valuable.
Yeah.
He donated them to the Franklin Institute in Philly.
And you need them. What do you need them most? They're at the Franklin Institute.
What are you going to do when you need the Silence Do-Good letters?
Didn't even need them.
I mean, he made photocopies, but he couldn't go back to his apartment.
Yeah.
No, let me get back to it, though. His dad's name is Patrick Henry Gates. His grandfather was John Adams Gates.
Yes.
What were these other relatives? Was
Abraham
there like a
Lincoln
George
Gates.
Washington Gates?
George Washington Gates, Abraham Lincoln Gates.
You know, I mean, like
There was Barack Obama Gates is the newest one. There's
the newest son of him and the Abigail Chase.
I believe Hulk Hogan Gates was another one.
I mean, he's a real American,
Yeah.
so
Not so much lately, but
we got all these Gateses, and Nic Cage is all this treasure hunter. But does he have a day job? I mean, it says he's a cryptographer. Like,
what was he, a Navy SEALs diver?
he was
or
a
something?
diver. We said he was a diver, but like, what does he do by day?
I don't know how he pays the bills, and I'm pretty sure Sean Bean doesn't pay his bills for
Like,
him.
how does he keep that swanky apartment that
Yeah.
he has? How does he have anything that he has? How do you pay the bills? Is he like I'm thinking about Indiana Jones here, right? Because this movie's kind of like a poor man's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Is he like a history professor?
Can you get paid to be a cryptologist?
I guess
You go
could.
around solving puzzles for people? Like, what do you do?
I don't know. Like, are they? How do you do that? Like, are you breaking? Maybe he's a locksmith.
He's a
Maybe
it's like
he's a lock.
you fancy up your resume. I'm a cryptologist.
He's the. that's like the babysitter that says child care provider.
Yeah.
No, it's like, is he the guy that comes like when you get locked out of your car? Like, maybe he's good at that. Maybe he can solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. I don't know.
Like maybe he takes really easy problems and tries to overly complicate them.
He
Yeah.
like really does it up because he's like bored. He's so smart that he just doesn't get the fulfillment from a regular day job.
Why couldn't he be? So we should just have Nic Cage be Batman and Batman Forever instead of Val Kilmer. He would have solved that Riddler problem, no problem,
Look,
right?
Val Kilmer solved it in like 3 things: clock, chess pawn.
How quickly
Enigma.
could have Ben Gates solved that puzzle, right?
He'd have been like, Edward Nigma.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Edward Nigma, excuse me. Not clock, chess pawn, chess piece, tennis, Enigma, Edward Nigma.
They would have found Chase Meridian, Dr. Chase Meridian in like 2 seconds flat. It would have been over.
Chase Meridian is such a bank name. That is ridiculous, by the way. But back to the movie. So Ian Howe, he's the financier, treasure hunter. They team up, they go to the Arctic, and they got to find the Charlotte, this boat. They thought Charlotte was a person for the longest time, it seemed. And then they found that it was a boat. And they meet up in this boat. Like, what's going on here? They got to find something.
So they were actually, what they were looking for was a boat inside of a boat, but they didn't know it at the time.
They didn't.
Yeah, so they found a boat, turned out to be a pipe.
They thought the treasure was going to be in the boat.
Yeah.
And they just found another clue.
So what happened? So long story short, they find the first, it was basically what turns out to be the first clue. Kind of the first clue.
How many first clues were before this?
That's exactly why Jon Voight quit all these years ago.
There's another clue, Benjamin, and another one.
So what happened with Sean Bean when he kind of took a turn for the evil?
He pulled a heel, but straight up, man, Sean Bean, I can't blame him. He just wants this treasure. He spent a lot of money of his own hard-earned cash already. Yeah. Just take him to the treasure, man. So they find out, basically, we got to steal the Declaration of Independence. After finding this pipe, tearing a piece off, cutting his finger for blood because they didn't have any ink. It's the only way.
Yeah.
Rolls it out on like a little piece of papyrus. He's got this thing, basically solves the puzzle like Val Kilmer in Batman Forever in 2 seconds, very quickly, decides we got to steal the Declaration of Independence. It's on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
And Nic Cage is like, show's over. Can't do it.
It can't be done.
Oh, well, dead end.
Sean Bean says, I can do it.
Not so fast.
Not so fast, buddy. I've had a lot of operations of questionable legality.
Everybody has a price.
This is where he takes the turn. But is he so wrong? He spent a lot of his own money. He spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
And he's listened to this crazy guy for so long. Like, why not just go the extra distance, man?
So are you asking me, is he wrong to want to steal the Declaration of Independence?
Yes.
Or excuse me, borrow the Declaration of Independence?
Would he give it back?
Sean Bean would not give a shit about that document.
You think he'd just shred it up?
He'd shred it up. He'd use it as a napkin. He wouldn't care.
I don't know, man. I don't think you're giving him enough credit.
I don't think he cares about history. I really don't. I doubt his history caredness.
I mean, he's British anyway, so he doesn't care about the Declaration of Independence.
Not our history anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Not American history.
He's probably angry about it. So he you know what I mean?
We left those suckers. Right?
No, but really, would he give it back? I'm just saying, is he so wrong to want to do this?
Yeah.
He went this far. Just go with him a little further, man.
I mean, if you have that much, I guess we'll call it drive, then no, it's not so wrong.
What other types of questionable legality things has he done? How many other declarations of independences has he stolen?
So do you think he had some prior workings with a Terry Silver, for example?
Oh, absolutely. Toxic waste conglomerate. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm pretty sure that the murders have been committed for the sake. How do you become a financier? How did he get his riches?
Listen,
you start small.
This dude was definitely British Special Forces back in the day. I could see, I'm telling you, he looks like Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. If anyone could ever cast a live action movie, take him from this movie. He has the long blonde hair. Put him in a trench coat. He looks exactly like him, straight out of the movie. I'm still not convinced that he's not Liquid Snake in the movie. But I'm just saying, this dude knows how to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And he's going to get that Declaration of Independence. He gave Ben Franklin a chance to join him. He said, let's do it. Let's do it, Badway. And what does Ben Franklin say?
Ben Franklin Gates says, no, sir, can't do it. I'm not going to sully the document. It's just not worth it. Better let sleeping dogs lie. We'll find another way. Somehow, some way.
So that's where Sean Bean decides to show his true colors.
Pull the gun on him.
He didn't pull the gun. I'm going to defend Sean Bean this whole time. He himself did not pull the gun.
It's called being a hitman. It's called hiring a hitman.
But you are not the hitman. He did not commit the murder or attempted murder.
If you call a hitman to have somebody murdered, your ass is on the line for murder just as much as the trigger man.
But he didn't even tell. He just said, do it. He didn't say what it was.
He knew. They worked out nonverbal cues way before they went down to the Arctic with Nic Cage.
This is like Tony Soprano. He's shielding himself from legality.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. And what's to say that he was actually going to kill him? The guy pulled the gun. He just kind of held it to him. And he's like, all right, you're not going to let me do this? Then I got to go do it. And then Nic Cage pulls out the flare, assuming that the guy was going to shoot.
Yeah.
And he says, there's gunpowder all around us. You going to let me drop this flare? What happens? The flare eventually goes out.
Does gunpowder get old? Does it lose its effectiveness after 200 plus years?
We need to call up a chemist because I don't know.
I think it would.
We need a forensic scientist on the show.
I would have called his bluff and shot him.
You would have just shot him?
Yeah, if I was that type of person.
But that leads me to another question. Nic Cage is hanging out with these guys. These guys, straight up look like evil henchmen. All of them are muscle. Yeah, it's just hired guns.
There are hired goons for sure. But your argument of Sean Bean not being a trigger man, it's murder for hire. That's what it is. It's murder for hire.
I can't blame him because he went this far. He spent all his money. What if he's broke? He needs that return on investment.
What if he's broke? If he's broke and he spent his last dollars investing in a treasure hunter.
He went this far,
Come on.
He went this far. Listen, he's 90% in. It's like you're in the pool. You better just jump, dude. Jump.
It's like being a millionaire and then using all of your $1 million to play the lottery.
Entertainment 720. Entertainment 720. That's what I'm saying. Sean Bean's going Entertainment 720. He's all in, man. He's got to go. He's got to get this treasure.
He played the lottery with all million of his dollars, man. It's just a bad investment. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for him.
But he goes and he says, I've got to do it. And they leave the ship. It blows up. I'm not trying to do a straight plot recap here, but this is where the movie kind of takes a turn, right? They were working together. Now they're working apart. And Nic Cage makes the statement that says, if he's going to steal it, then I got to steal it before he can steal it.
I got to steal it first.
And that's kind of the whole crux of the movie.
Steal it better and steal it safer.
Because I'll take care of it. He won't. He'll just spray that lemon juice on. I'll use a Q-tip.
He'll drop it in the gutter.
He'll drop it in a pool of lemon juice. I'm going to use a Q-tip with some white gloves on.
To wipe his ass with that Declaration of Independence.
It reminds me of Rob Corddry from Harold and Kumar 2.
Yeah.
So along the way, he decides they better warn somebody that he's going to steal it before he decides to steal it himself, right? He meets his Dr. Abigail Chase Meridian.
Hello, Abigail Chase Meridian.
She's not a psychiatrist. Dr. Abigail Chase Meridian is a German-American employee at the National Archives who he mistakenly thinks is Pennsylvania Dutch.
Played by Diane Kruger.
Diane Kruger, who is very beautiful in this movie, and actually I liked her in this role.
Of course. So she takes none of this guy's shit immediately, right?
He's full of shit.
Yeah. He's like, oh, nice pin collection. Shut up. Nice pin collection. What are you trying to pull?
One. And he's like, first off, he's dressed like a homeless guy with a suit that he got from the thrift store.
Exactly.
He has his collar out like BG style 1970s. Yeah. Like, who dressed this guy? Yeah. He's wearing penny loafers with some jeans. Come on. He tried to dress it up. He put a jacket on.
No, you're right. It was thrift store. It was definitely thrift shop Sammy over here. So how quickly did she actually end up falling for it, really?
I mean, falling for the plot or falling for him as a lover?
No, not the plot. So, all right, we're going to skip ahead now. So we talked about, they make the plans to steal the Declaration of Independence. Sean Bean's trying to steal it the same exact night. The odds of that, I don't know. You think it would take a little longer to plan, right? Yeah, he went right for it.
Sean Bean has done this before. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Nic Cage, I feel like it's more believable for Sean Bean to pick that night because he's done these operations before.
He can pull together an operation quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
Nic Cage just decides, we got to do it this night because it won't be guarded. He kind of had an idea, but he's a historian. He's a mechanical engineer. He's not a criminal.
But he's a certifiable genius, so he's got that working for him.
But he's not a criminal. Does he know how to pull shady
No, he doesn't.
operations?
Which makes me think that he never would have been able to get away with it had they helped them each other steal it. You know what I mean?
Because they got in the way, right?
They got in the way of each other, and they both ended up helping each other get it out of the building.
So,
which it never would have gotten out of the building if one or the other tried their plan, I feel.
Apart, they were unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Little did they know they were still teaming up.
Yes.
In the pursuit of this Declaration of Independence.
The irony.
One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, Nic Cage winds up putting it in a fake, basically. He buys a poster from the store, uses it as a decoy. It was just awesome. That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. But
$35.
I want to go back to your question.
The easy plot point of he had to use their credit card to pay for it,
and that's how they tracked him.
That's how they could track him.
Harvey Keitel decides he could see him. I want to go back to your question: how quickly Dr. Chase Meridian fell for this plan of this. Right. She didn't believe him at all. So he apparently went to the FBI before that. He went everywhere he could in DC to tell these people, "Hey, this is going to happen."
So. Long story short, he goes and steals it. He gets it away from Sean Bean, kind of saves Diane Kruger's life while Sean Bean was executing a shootout to try to get this freaking thing.
Maybe they were blanks.
It was attempted murder.
Maybe they were blanks.
Yeah,
maybe it was a fake.
Blanks.
It was blanks.
They were hitting the van.
I mean, maybe it's special effects. Sean Bean knows how. He's a financier.
What were they? What do you buckshot? Was it buckshot?
He's got rubber bullets,
BBs?
man.
Rubber
it's
bullets.
BBs.
Rubber bullets.
He's got the Red Rider. I don't think that he's all that bad. I just think he wants his treasure.
I think you're that bad.
I don't think he's all that bad. Let me tell you,
you're a Sean Bean apologist.
Listen,
what you are.
Man, ROI. That's all I'm going to tell you. ROI. He needs that return on investment. Yeah. He spent a lot of time and money. I'm not going to harp on it anymore, but I don't think he's that bad. He just wants that declaration. Give it to him, he'll leave.
So after Nic Cage basically kidnaps Diane Kruger, for her own good, right? So they take a little drive. They get to his dad's house, Jon Voight's.
Meet the parents.
And all of a sudden she's in. Little lemon juice and she's in, right?
It's that lemon juice, you know what I mean? Like he proved to her, hey, by the way, this is what happens. But they had a clean room set up in Nic Cage's apartment. Couldn't use that.
Couldn't use it.
Because Harvey Keitel was all over it.
It's too hot.
It's too hot, as they would say.
Yeah.
He learned as Memphis Reigns.
Right.
It's a little too hot. But they set it up so they go on his like dining room table and they get some lemon juice. Now listen, I'm not a chemical engineer here, but putting lemon juice on a document, isn't that acidic? Like, aren't you going to ruin the thing? They were touching it with gloves. Like, why don't you just hold it at that point?
I'll tell you this. I looked it up.
You did.
When you apply the lemon juice and the heat to the document, what it actually does in effect, it doesn't allow you to see hidden messages. What it does is it creates its own kind of hidden message itself. So what you're doing is you're actually whiting out the hidden message in order to create your new hidden message when you apply the lemon juice with the heat.
So is this like the Crayola markers where you have the invisible ink one? So it's like somebody drew this on the back of there?
Exactly. And when you add the lemon, what you're doing is you're erasing the clue that they're actually looking for.
So what they did was incorrect and it would have
historically, scientifically, chemically incorrect. Yes. But this is not moviefacts.com here. I'm not, or whatever you want to call it.
You're debunking the movie.
This isn't in the goofs section of IMDb. So
I believed it though. I'll tell you, when they did
it's
it,
a good trick, and I'll buy it because I like it.
I bought it. They got me
because
hook,
lemon
line,
juice.
sinker.
It's a funny enough little like ingredient to get.
But it's
me
like,
in.
what do we have in our kitchen cabinet? They could have sprayed some baking soda on there. Maybe put a little
club
cooking
soda
oil.
and salt.
Club soda
and salt. We'll get that.
That's what I mean. But like the lemon juice, all I could think about the whole time was like, all right, yeah, I could see maybe the hidden message coming out.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the hell they were going to do. Like, isn't this ruining the document? Like, they're handling it with white glove service here.
Ruining it.
They ruined it, dude.
Ruining it. Does it really matter, though, if it gets a little ruined?
I mean, it's going to go back in that case.
It doesn't have value. Like, it doesn't have a monetary value. It's priceless.
Let's be real, though. If somebody took that document out of the case and ruined it, couldn't they put a new one in there and
they got a bunch of them over in the
know?
gift shop? Nobody would know the difference.
I mean, I really feel like they could put it in there.
But for real though, like they have people that can restore documents. They do that. That's what Diane Kruger does. That's her job, is to fix it.
It's like Dana Barrett in Ghostbusters 2. They were restoring the painting of Vigo.
Exactly.
Like, remember that? What was it in the news a few years ago when that person like messed up the painting of that one thing and they tried to repaint a face on it?
What about
it? Looked so bad.
What about Broad City?
Oh.
Season 2 of Broad City, if you've ever seen that show. It's the same type of thing where girl messes up the painting, she tries to fix it, makes it even worse.
It's so bad.
But anyway, let's get back on point.
But I'm saying, would it matter?
Say you accidentally like cut it in half, right? Worst case scenario, you cut the document in half. Oops.
You could take that tape, the liquid tape, like put it back together.
It's all about the aesthetic value of it, right?
Make it look like a fold. That's what the founding fathers did. They folded it in half.
It's not like you have a Babe Ruth rookie card, and if you cut it, it's not worth anything anymore. This thing has no monetary value, right? It's all about an illusion. The illusion of its worth.
But that's what I mean. And so maybe the lemon juice isn't such a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't think Sean Bean would have done the lemon juice.
No, he would have.
He would have known. He would have. He'd have like, I've had enough.
Where is this thing?
I can't figure it out.
I can't figure it out. He's a dummy.
No, but they found the lemon juice, and that gives them these ciphers, right? It's like a bunch of 3-digit codes.
See, well, I'm going to stop you right here. I just now realized this is why Sean Bean is not a great financier. What he should have did. Why not just tail Nic Cage, a.k.a. Ben Gates, the entire time? Just tail him until he finally gets there. Because Bean can't figure this stuff out. He can't figure out these traps. And he eventually caught on and did that when he let the little boy do the code. Right?
Little creepy.
Yeah.
Little creepy.
Yeah, just all you have to do is silently follow Nic Cage and let him think that he's got everything under control. And then at the very end, you leap out. Like he was attacking him in Philadelphia. He was attacking him on the streets of D.C.
He made his life worse.
Yeah, don't do that. Let him do it. Let him do his thing and get him at the end.
Was there, like, did this movie feel... did it feel like, I made the joke in the beginning, but they don't make them like they used to? Like, did this movie give you a little bit of a nostalgia for the types of movies that this is? Like, Jerry Bruckheimer produced this, right?
Yeah.
So it's just very...
No, I don't really feel nostalgia for this movie, honestly. Like, it's a good movie. I like it. It's very entertaining. But I feel like We talk about it'll make them like they used to. I feel like they could make this movie like they used to again.
I mean, they could. They can make a third one, which we'll speculate on in a minute. But
I don't think it's that special. Put it that way.
So we talked a little bit about some of the characters, but let's jump into like kind of how they found the treasure and just go through some of these steps, and we can talk a little bit more about what they did. But like, give me a rundown of how they had to find this, because it's hard to talk about this movie without kind of going all over the place. So, apologies.
We're gonna fast forward through this movie real quick. So we'll go step by step on what the steps were taken to get to the treasure. Is that
yeah?
Is that
and then
and
then we can talk about our favorite parts or however. But it's so hard to talk about this movie without going through plot by plot. So just rattle it off. Like, how do they get this thing?
Okay, so they found the Charlotte, which ended up being the pipe, right? Steal the Declaration of Independence, easy peasy, done.
I mean, that was just like number 2 on the list.
Lemon juice on the Declaration. Then from the code they found on the lemon juice, the back of the Declaration of Independence, they were told to go to Philadelphia.
Silence do-good letters.
And go to the Liberty Bell to find some kind of next clue. So what they figure out was the clock is showing whatever time it was.
It was on the bill,
back
right?
of the back of the $100 bill. So he cut open this brick. Now, how he got on that roof of that government building without being arrested for trespassing, I don't know.
Listen, I mean, how much of a buzzkill would it be? He stole the Declaration of Independence, and then he gets arrested for walking on the roof of Liberty Hall or whatever.
They got snipers, man. They got snipers.
Oh man!
So finds the loose brick. Boom, bam. We got 3D glasses, baby. Got the 3D glasses. That's all we needed the whole time.
The OG Ben Franklin, man, he was ahead of his time.
See, the problem was they weren't making 3D movies in 2004. So he could have just gone to the movie theater and got the 3D glasses that way.
He go down to
It would have been real easy.
Get a pair of 3D glasses.
Maybe you go to like a dollar store, they might have like the cheap ones. They weren't readily available in 04.
Yeah, I mean this was still back when they had the red and blue ones. Remember when we saw like Piranha 3D or whatever?
Yeah, right.
Or My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Yeah, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
They had the red and blue glasses.
Absolutely. So he finds these old, what are they?
Spectacles?
Spectacles, you would call them.
Basically,
right?
old man, original OG Ben Franklin glasses.
Yeah, they got the little switches with the red and the green and the blue. So he further investigates the back of the Declaration of Independence, and what does he find next? Another clue. He flipped the red switch on finally on his glasses to go with the blue, and
you got to combine those.
He went to, what is it called, the Trinity Church?
It was Trinity Church in New York City.
Yeah. Oh, we got to go to Trinity Church in New York City. Where? Oh, we got to go down like to the basement, like the Alamo has a basement. The Trinity Church has a basement.
It was,
and we get to this crypt, and we have to crawl through like an old grave thing.
No, but Sean Bean showed up, and he basically they bashed the thing right open.
Yeah, man. But we skipped through the part where they kidnapped his dad.
Yeah,
so they kidnapped Jon Voight, who wanted nothing to do with any of this.
Jon Voight
Jon
Voight was just trying to put a robe on and go to bed.
Just trying to read his copies of the do-good letters. The guy was just ransacked in the middle of the night.
He just stolen from the house. It's like Nic Cage thought he had the upper hand because he had Diane Kruger, but they stole old man Jon Voight.
He was in his study. He had his robe on. He had the pipe.
Did it seem like, and maybe this is unfair, did it seem like Jon Voight mailed it in a little bit in this movie?
Of course he did.
He looked like he wanted nothing to do with the Declaration of Independence. He wanted nothing to do with this movie.
I tell you why. It's because he was miscast.
Yeah. Oh,
he's always a bad guy. He's always a slimeball.
Jonas Hodges in 24.
Jonas Hodges in 24. Coach Kilmer, Varsity Blues, Mickey Donovan, Ray Donovan. The slime is the slimeball characters.
I mean,
the guy from Anaconda. Come on, man.
The guy from Anaconda.
He doesn't have time to be playing these goody Ben Franklin, naming his kid Ben Franklin.
Patrick Henry.
Yeah, Patrick Henry, son of a bitch. No. But that's why he phoned it in.
I feel like he definitely phoned it in. He seemed like he didn't really care. He got kidnapped with ease.
Yeah.
He was like, oh no, save me.
Oh no. Oh, jeez.
They go in. He still wants nothing to do with the plot of the thing, but they're in the crypt of Trinity Church. Sean Bean just bashes through the thing.
Or, to get back to the kayfabe here, maybe he secretly wanted to be kidnapped and thrown into this thing because he didn't want to admit that he wanted to get back in the treasure hunting game.
So he wanted it to not be his idea. So if
Exactly.
they failed,
Like,
he could
oh
be
man,
like,
don't take me to the treasure hunt. And he really wanted to be there the whole time.
like he wanted to get kidnapped.
He was too proud to admit to his son that he really wanted to get back in the treasure
What
hunting
if he
game.
let himself get kidnapped so
Exactly.
that he could be there?
Yeah,
For
right.
when they unveil the treasure.
Exactly.
Like, oh no, it's fake. It's not real.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
Like he invited Sean Bean over to his house, told him he had tips, and then he didn't have tips, and he messed with them too much, and he made Sean Bean pretty much kidnap him.
But I
happened.
still go back to this. Was Sean Bean so bad? And I'm gonna say it for the rest of the episode. Yeah, he took his dad. He didn't kill him. He didn't kill his dad.
Was gonna.
He needed a little leverage.
Was gonna.
Listen, there was no indication that he was actually going to kill his dad. He just needed a little leverage.
Look,
he needs that treasure, man.
If you had $1 million that your daddy left you, I'm starting to think this guy had money left from his daddy, and you blew it all on a pie-in-the-sky treasure that probably doesn't exist, that you're following some nut bar all over the United States, you're gonna resort to these kinds of murders. So I get it.
It's murder. Let's not use the word
Attempted
murder
murders.
here.
He attempted murder to a lot of people in this movie.
Did he though? Did he?
He's a bad murderer.
Did
He's not
he
good at
murder-
it. He's not good at it.
Listen, he gave a kid $100. That's a nice gesture. He gave the kid a $100 bill. He said, "Look, go tell me the rest of the letters that this guy gave you. I'll
You
give
don't
you
think
$100."
off screen he took the $100 bill back?
No, I think he gave it to him because he's a skilled
And
financier.
maybe kicked the kid in the butt all the way out.
He
way
doesn't.
out.
He doesn't need the money. He's just doing the kid a favor.
That was his last $100, by the way.
He's dead broke.
was
now. Now he damn well better find that treasure. He's this is all. I'm all out of it. I'm all out of it.
I'm tapped out.
No, but he gave that kid $100 with ease. There's no way he did anything bad to that kid. He's like, look here, kid, have $100 to help me out so I don't have to hurt anybody.
Look, you're a Sean Bean sympathizer. Always have been, always will be, man. He's not Ned Stark, all right?
I mean, the guy has honor.
He's not Ned Stark.
He's just trying to get the
I know you
treasure.
saw him as Ned Stark. He's been other guys, and they're mostly bad guys. All right?
006. No, he's just trying to get that ROI, man. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I feel you. So they crawl through the grave of who the hell knows in this
Some old guy.
the Templar, the Trinity Church, whatever the heck. Get all the way down. They get this rickety ass staircase, which looks like it might lead to somewhere. It looks like there's treasure underneath that rickety ass staircase. So they get all the way down there. Sean Bean is basically holding them at gunpoint, making them walk down this suspect, I don't even know, like old school elevator system, right?
We need to get the load bearing inspected.
He pretty much like pushes Diane Kruger almost to her death.
Yeah, pretty
Attempted
much.
murder. Again, not good at murder.
He was just trying to help her go a little faster. She was holding them up.
Here's a question for you. Is he very bad at murder or really good at not killing people?
I think
Which one is it?
I think he's really good at not killing people because he wasn't trying to kill anybody. The wood was breaking.
Is he like Batman?
Yeah.
That's his one rule?
Listen, I'll do anything but kill you. I'll do anything but kill you. No, the wood was breaking. He had to push her out of the way, dude.
Jesus Christ, man.
You had to push her out of the way.
There's no reason. And then she had the declaration, too. He was about to throw the declaration down there for fun.
He doesn't care.
Just for shits and gigs.
Listen, he got the code. He doesn't need the declaration. They got a spare anyway. It doesn't matter.
So they go down this whole thing, and I think one guy actually did fall over, one of his goons.
Oh, it was his main goon, and
Yeah.
he actually had no remorse for that
Yeah,
at
they
all,
didn't give a shit.
which was pretty
Yeah.
bad, I guess. That's the one bad deed that he did.
That's accidental suicide. I will not pin murder on him for that. That's accidental suicide.
I mean, that guy went down there on his own free will.
Yeah, it's true. So they get all the way down to what looks like a dead end. And Nic Cage, the smart son of a bitch that he is, makes up this fake code about lampposts in Boston and Paul Revere. Oldest trick in the book. My nephew, 9 years old, couple history classes in his life, he would have figured that shit out. That's fake. I would not let Nic Cage out of my sight if I was Sean Bean, because I know that he knows where this treasure is, if it exists.
And that's where Sean Bean failed in my eyes.
Yeah.
Sean Bean, you disappointed me, man.
That's how dumb he is.
He says, that's the last clue. Go to Boston. It's there. The treasure is there. So it's like, he's like, oh, well, you need me. He's like, I don't need you. I know where the treasure is now. It's like, what if there's another clue, dude? You better take him.
I know.
He left him for his quote unquote death.
The way this game is going, they're like 9-10 clues deep chances are, if it really was in Boston, there was going to be another clue that he would not be able to figure out.
And who knew how many clues before the 9 or 10?
But no, he covered his bases because he said, and I quote, "If there's another clue, I'll know where to find you."
That's true.
He was going to leave him down there, but he better move quick because they were going to run out of food. They had no water.
There's no water.
There's nothing there.
It might get cold. They might die.
How long could you last down there? Like a week?
I think I could
more
last
than a
like
week.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
with no water though.
Listen, at least you have clothes. I've seen Naked and Afraid, and they put these people out in like the jungle, and they last for like 24 days.
They could just eat the comic relief kid though.
That's Riley.
Doug. Yeah. Doug from Hangover.
Why I want to call this guy Milo? I don't know why.
He looks like a Milo.
He looks like a Milo.
So we went this whole time and didn't even mention the comic relief kid, which doesn't really matter.
No, but he actually made the movie pretty good. I liked.
No, you
him.
needed the little jokes going in there.
He was the levity that the movie needed because the plot is so ridiculous. He was kind of like the role of the viewer.
Yeah, he was like the roll your eyes kind of thing. Like, oh boy, here we go.
Like, are we really going to steal the Declaration of Independence? He was saying what everyone's thinking.
Right.
He basically verbalized it, and I liked him in the movie.
Yeah.
And he was just funnier, I thought.
Right.
I thought he was funny, and Nic Cage was very serious.
So Sean B, the idiot that he is, he goes back up, goes to Boston, post haste. He's out. Nic Cage is like, hold on a second. Let me turn this lamppost real quick, or let me push this button. Let me move the bookcase. Let me pull the book out. Whatever it is you do.
Push this rock a little bit.
Yeah, push this rock a little bit to do the little spinneroonie on the wall. Bam, treasure time.
Lights the lamp. Treasure beyond treasures. Like treasure of all treasures of all time.
It just looked like a bunch of crap to me, honestly.
It's like old stuff.
I don't know how valuable that stuff really is.
It's invaluable, right? But let me say this. Poo-poo on the treasure layers to not put a booby trap there. Like, shouldn't they have, like, poison darts that when you walk through the door, you got to jump on something? They should have, like, a boulder that comes down.
The sickle?
That's what I mean.
Large sickle?
Like, the swinging, like, knives. Yeah. Like, have some blow darts that come out.
Or, like, even, like, the huge battering ram that swings down.
Right, like the tree. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's like a tree bark.
I'm saying, like, Indiana Jones. Like, make him at least crawl through some snakes or something. Like,
pit of spikes?
Yeah.
Pit of spikes?
Pit of spikes. Yeah. Like, I'm saying crawl through, like, at least crawl through some snakes. Yep. Make them go through some spider webs. Like, they just open the door and they're there.
Like the really, like, shoulder high, like, tight wire that could decapitate you.
Yeah, and you can't see it.
You can't see it. Right?
Like,
we're on top of our booby trap.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I hit a treasure, you better booby trap. Not some old wooden staircase.
So eons from now, when you try to steal our microphones from our enormously successful podcast, you're going to get the pit of spikes. You're going to get the snakes and the darts.
That's what I'm saying. At least snakes. Like, just put some snakes down
Who's
there.
Who's going to feed them snakes?
They're going to eat the spiders. It's self-sustaining. It's like
keep coming. Circle of life.
It's a circle of life. But I'm saying, like, you know, you watch Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They got some snakes in the pit.
Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
At least
stuff like that.
Make them work for it, man. I know you gave them like 100 million clues, and they had to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Made them go to Antarctica. The first of all, nobody wants to go to Antarctica.
That's a booby trap in itself. But you know, the boat just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Speaking of the boat, by the way, we didn't say this in the beginning. The guy holding the pipe.
Yeah.
How long was he sitting there clutching the box? Like, he was sitting there like, oh my God, I hope they don't take it from me. How the hell did that boat get to Antarctica or wherever it was, Canadian or something?
Well, he was clutching the boat. He was probably freezing to death. So he's probably trying to, like, gather warmth as best he could as from his last dying motions. And, like, it was such a prized possession for him. It was like a sign of protection.
Another reason amateur cryptologist, amazing puzzle solver Nic Cage looked at him. He's like, there's a million guys here. Which one's the captain? And he looked for the captain and immediately saw him. He knew from the hat.
He's a smart guy. You just got to trust the guy like Benjamin Franklin Gates.
So get back to my favorite topic here, Sean Bean. They wind up getting this treasure. That's not really the point of the movie, right? I guess it is the point of the movie, but not what we talk about. Yeah. They get the treasure. Ben Franklin donates like all of it to the world because it's the treasure of the world.
All he wanted to do was make like he could die happy knowing that it just existed. That's all he wanted to know.
He takes
that it existed, and he could clear his grandfather, his great grandfather, his father, his great great grandfather. As they're not nut bars, they were right all along.
All these failures.
Make sure it's written in history that the Gates family have found this treasure.
Do you think he's going to hold this over his dad's head forever?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I told you.
Sunday dinners, it's good looked at. Remember the time when you didn't believe in the treasure?
Yeah. That should be spoken about every time. Yeah. Do you feel that his dad should get $0? I feel like he shouldn't get anything.
No, what are you nuts?
because his dad like discouraged him. He was like slamming him, calling him crazy. Like he ignored his son. He said his son was crazy.
Well, he didn't want to see his son waste his life that he had. Turns out that he just wasn't as good of a treasure hunter as his son.
That's what I'm saying. Like he should have said, "Hey, Dad, you're a failure. Like I beat you."
So your lovely daughter, the Batgirl, she grows up and she says she wants to be a treasure hunter. What about college, honey? No, I'm just gonna go around and search for clues.
I mean,
all my life.
Does she have?
Can I have $100?
Does she have a credible treasure she's searching for? Is she talking about the Templars here?
Live Oak.
Oak Island?
Oak Island.
Yeah, I'd go there.
She wants to go for Oak Island, Dad. Can I have 10 grand?
No, of course not.
Right? Of course, you're going to discourage it.
I'm just saying, he found the treasure. It's game over, baby. It's game over.
Right.
I'm the most successful Gates now.
Yeah.
I'm Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin Gates. But Sean Bean, back to my man.
Yeah.
They basically Harvey Keitel shows up. And this is a point that I want to make because before we get back to Sean Bean, Harvey Keitel basically says somebody's got to go to prison.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, he's wearing the Templar little pinky ring.
Yeah, a little wrinkle, huh?
A little pinky ring. When I saw that, I wasn't sure, like, is he going to basically suppress this? Is he going to kill Nic Cage right now?
What if he pulled the gun out?
If this was a rated R movie, like, oh, they found the treasure. We got to stop
That would have been
him.
a great twist.
I mean, you can't talk about this movie and not compare it to Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, all that crap.
You can't talk about this movie without talking about those. Like, there's people that are there to protect the treasure. And I didn't think that they were going to just let him have it.
Yeah, you would think that if he was so, like, if he knew it existed and it was just like wink, wink, then he would have, like, made sure it didn't see the light of day, I feel.
Right. But he says somebody's got to go to prison.
Or maybe he was so, like, proud that someone finally solved the mystery that enables it to be given to the world.
Do you think that he knew where it was and he was protecting it, or he was happy that, somebody finally
I think
found
there's
it?
a chance that he knew, and it's like he was proud that somebody cracked the code.
Okay.
Because maybe that small group that is passed down from generation to generation,
right,
knows the secrets of the world.
But he says that somebody's got to go to prison.
Somebody's got to go.
Convenient enough.
Yeah.
Sean Bean's up in Boston, shipping up to Boston, hanging around this church up there, looking for
trespassing on government property.
But what government property was it?
So, what's the prison sentence for trespassing on government property?
But did he really trespass on government property? What government property was trespassed upon? Nic Cage did everything that he did and was caught doing it.
It's like the Paul Revere building or whatever. I don't know history.
No, I think were they talking about the National Archives when he was trying to steal the Declaration? Like that was the trespassing?
But there's no proof that Sean Bean was there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How can they say you trespassed on government property?
This is my problem with the whole ending of the movie, you see. So Nic Cage took like 1% of the money, which is probably like $1 billion or like 100 million, whatever the heck. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So he's like, think he's got it on easy street. He's got the girl. He's got the friend. He got paid too. He's got the Ferrari. He doesn't know how to drive it. All hunky-dory, movie ends, credits, right?
Yeah.
But what we don't see is, as the credits roll, it should be after the credits, we see Sean Bean being acquitted of all crimes because what do they charge him with? Attempted murder,
kidnapping, attempted murder, trespassing on government property.
Trespassing on government property. Is there proof of any of those with a good lawyer, a financier with unlimited resources and money? He's
going to call up his friend Terry Silver.
Yeah.
He's going to find out who Terry Silver uses as a lawyer because he's certainly got some connections. Of course. He's in the community of underground supervillains.
Yeah.
He's going to know, although Terry Silver might like scoff at this guy because he might be like, "Are you kidding me, dude? Like you're the worst."
Come on, treasure hunters.
Like, come on now. Yeah. Like he might say like you should be investing in toxic waste. Yeah. Or he might say, "I can't believe that you didn't just bring him with you to Boston."
Yeah, less risk.
But having said that, definitely going to get out on all charges.
Yeah. If you have a good lawyer, these charges are going to stick. He has no proof that he's ever been in.
They cut the camera.
Yeah, they cut the cameras. All the attempted murders are my word versus him, and he was so bad at murdering people, he never even got close. He didn't even clip anybody with a bullet, so he got nothing.
The only bullets that he shot, and he didn't shoot. Again, I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Henchman.
I don't think he shot a shot.
It's murder for hire.
I don't think he fired a shot.
So really, let's say worst case scenario, say he spends a year in jail for, well, I don't even know what, because he's not even going to get that.
If you have a good lawyer,
Yeah.
you're going to get like 60 days probation.
He's going to get out and attempted murder Nic Cage, isn't he?
I mean,
He's probably going to miss. He's going to shoot and miss him.
someone might murder Nic Cage.
Someone who may or may not be affiliated with Sean Bean.
I don't know if it would be Sean Bean, but someone may murder Benjamin Franklin Gates or his father. But I don't think they would be affiliated with Sean Bean, or at least that we could tie it to.
Are you his lawyer?
I
Are
mean,
you his lawyer?
listen, he didn't fire any shots. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg here. That's all I'm saying.
They showed up with a crowbar to that building in Boston. It's like, they don't know what they're going to do with that crowbar. Yeah, maybe he got locked out of his car. He's trying to jimmy his lock.
You need to open his car door.
Yeah.
He's going to bash his own window open. I mean, like he's got to help out an old lady start her car. I don't know. He didn't do anything wrong.
If anything, this just shows the corruption of the United States government.
Harvey
Keitel put an innocent man in jail.
That's what I'm saying. These Templars, man, these Templars and their shady business dealings, just an honest financier trying to find a treasure, and they're sitting here trying to put this guy in jail.
Anyway, before we wrap up the plot of the movie and this and that, we got some bonus material. The love not the triangle, the love story between Diane Kruger and Nic Cage.
I mean, they really missed a love scene opportunity.
Necessary or not?
It would be necessary if they put a love scene in.
That's what I was gonna get to.
They missed it.
It's a PG movie. We could have made it PG-13 and had a love scene under the covers.
It could have really.
They could have done some stuff on the Declaration of Independence. How sometimes you got a love scene in a movie.
Yeah.
They got a blanket on it, but it's too small.
Yeah.
So it barely covers the parts.
Yeah.
They could cover with the Declaration, right?
I'm thinking about Roadhouse when they're in the upstairs of the barn.
Yeah.
It's like they're showing the passion. She falls in love with him because of his passionate just drive to find this treasure.
Right.
She finally falls for him. Definite love scene. Got to have the Declaration of Independence as some type of focal piece of the love scene. I mean, you make this PG-13 and that could happen.
Yeah.
And I think it would have built their relationship up a little bit.
I think so, but seeing as there was no love scene, right?
Missed opportunity.
I feel like there was no need for them to fall in love with each other. I feel like it's obvious that they're going to do that because they always do that in those movies.
It could have been a professional relationship.
She's got to think this guy's a fool. Well, even when the treasure's real, and at that point, she's not being like a money chaser or anything like that. I mean, she's a full-on historian as well. She's very fascinated. She could have been along for the ride just for the fascination of the treasure, just as Milo was.
I'm going to tell you,
AKA Riley, AKA Doug,
AKA that guy.
That guy. So, why does she have to be in love with him? Just as easily, Riley could have been in love with Nic Cage, right?
That would have been good.
Right?
Love triangle. They could have went with that angle. They could have. Yeah. He could have been in love with his partner that he admired all these years.
All I'm saying is that her falling in love with him is just as easy as him falling in love with him.
Riley could have admired his drive, his passion for history. And also, maybe, I don't know where they met. Maybe they became friends. Maybe he really did like him. Maybe he respected him.
But I don't mean to go all Vox on everybody here, but why does she have to fall in love? Why? Why can't she just be in it for the love of the chase? Her name's Chase. Get it? Yeah. Let's move on.
Oh, my God.
So long story short, if you're going to do the love scene, if you're going to do the love story, have a love scene.
Don't make it for nothing.
All right? And use the Declaration as your cover after your sex exploits.
So I want to take this down a different path here. We have a few minutes left before we end the show. We mentioned before comparing this to Dan Brown's series. What is his name? Dr. Howard Langston.
Yes.
Tom Hanks himself, Oscar winner.
Angels and Demons.
Da
Vinci Code.
All of these movies where he's basically the same character as Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Very serious, though. So serious that it's boring.
Let me pose a scenario to you.
Yeah.
Let's take an Oscar-winning actor. This movie did well. It did well in the box office, but it seems because Nic Cage is in it, people don't take it seriously. They look at it as a joke.
It wasn't reviewed critically that favorably. It was like half and half.
Right. So let's let's do a thing, and we could call it something. I was thinking about Cinema Swap. Oh, we'll come up with a name of it.
Yeah.
But let's take an Oscar-winning actor from their movie.
Yeah.
And put them in this movie and put Nic Cage in their movie and see what would be better or worse? Which one would you rather watch?
See, first of all, I'm going to stop you right here. I feel like this game is fatally flawed when you use Nic Cage because you're always going to choose the Nic Cage swap, right?
Don't see. He figured the game out here. He figured the game out.
But we're going to go on. Let's do it.
So
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, let's take Tom Hanks. You can even take him from me. Let's not take him from Da Vinci Code
All right.
because it's too similar.
It's too similar, even though I think Nic Cage could make a boring-ass Da Vinci Code movie as Tom Hanks did,
Yes.
right?
I'm taking Tom Hanks. Let's take Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump. Take him out of Forrest Gump. Put him in
Forrest
this
Gump.
movie. Put him in this movie and put Nicolas Cage in Forrest Gump.
So hold on a second. Now, Forrest Gump is Hunting for Treasures? Is that what we're talking about?
No. Tom Hanks, like the actor.
The actor only, not the
Tom
character.
Hanks becomes Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Not the character, just the actor.
The love scene would not work with Tom Hanks, by the way. Too old. Way too old. Even though Nic Cage is probably just as old.
Yeah.
But take him in and then put Nic Cage in Forrest Gump. Is it the script that won the Oscar? Is it the movie that won the Oscar? Is it the acting? Is it the combination of all? If Nic Cage was in Forrest Gump, would it have been as good of a movie, or would it have been good at all? And would people respect it in any way, or would they look at that like a joke?
I'll get this out of the way. Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder
Yes,
is described it best about
it's like Simple
Forrest
Jack.
Gump, but I'll go no further.
Would it be like Ben Stiller being Simple Jack?
Kind of with Nic Cage, yes.
Because he doesn't have the skills.
No, it might come off as insulting in a way.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Nicolas Cage, and I would love to watch him try. Don't get me wrong, but I think, Tom Hanks would not make National Treasure a better movie because he's not like
He's not going to steal the movie.
he's not like, and I can't think of a better word, but goofy is what coming to mind. Because Tom Hanks is, Nic Cage isn't goofy in National Treasure. But there's a certain lightness to it that I don't think Tom Hanks can lend, especially like later period Tom Hanks, like more recent Tom Hanks. Seems to get a little more bloated and serious.
Yeah. I mean, literally bloated. His face looks-
Literally bloated, yes.
He's John Travolta face.
Yes.
His face is expanding.
Exactly. Whereas I think that at least Nic Cage could try to like go all in to like a Forrest Gump character.
All right.
So I say neither can make each movie better. But I think Nic Cage would have an easier time with Forrest Gump.
Making it worse?
Whereas, that's making it better. No.
Oh, okay.
Not better, but equal. Whereas
Okay.
Tom Hanks moving to National Treasure would make it more serious and less fun, therefore a worse movie.
Okay.
You dig?
Yeah, I dig it. Let me take another one here. So
All right.
I'll go with other Oscar winners here.
Okay.
Let me take Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Let's take him out of Lincoln.
All right.
Let's put not Tom Hanks. Let's put Nicolas Cage into Lincoln.
Yeah.
So Nicolas Cage is playing Abraham Lincoln in the movie Lincoln,
Yes.
and Daniel Day-Lewis is playing Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Okay.
Does Daniel Day-Lewis do it for you? Does he make it
No.
better?
No,
Even
because
more boring?
I don't think Daniel Day-Lewis has the comedy chops, first of all. Or how would he prepare for this role?
He would literally go to MIT, get a mechanical engineering degree. He would turn it down because he would say he doesn't want to go to jail for trying to steal the Declaration of Independence.
See, I feel like he'd be bored stiff because like he'd have to be forced to become a history buff. And if you don't love history, to be forced history upon you is incredibly boring.
That's true.
So he couldn't do it. But on the flip side,
No, what about Cage as Lincoln?
Cage as Lincoln? He's just not serious enough.
I feel like he could do it.
I mean, he's
man.
been in serious roles. Don't get me wrong.
If
Yeah,
did
he
this,
could totally do it.
He did this in '97.
He could totally do
no
it.
one would blink an eye.
Yeah.
You know, he's become a parody of himself, unfortunately, because he's still good.
I don't know though. I mean, it would probably like it would probably be a box office bomb if we're going to be honest.
It would
Same
definitely be.
script. Tommy
No.
Lee Jones would be beside himself on set all day, mad at Nic Cage.
It would definitely be a bomb.
That grump. Oh man. So that's lose.
All right, let me do one more, and then we're done. Let me take.
By the way, Nic
Okay.
Cage 2-0 because
Okay, so
Cage
it's-
would be better at Lincoln than Lewis would be at
That's what I'm saying.
at National Treasure.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Nicolas Cage doesn't get enough respect for
No.
the I guess the funness that he brings to a movie, if that's even a word. Let me get the last one here. Leonardo DiCaprio, take him out of The Revenant
All right.
and put Nic Cage in The Revenant. So Leonardo DiCaprio is Ben Franklin Gates.
Yes.
Better or worse?
Leo DiCaprio as Ben Franklin Gates. See, Leo now, worse. Leo maybe 10 years ago, maybe just as good. But I don't know. But when Leo was like in his late 20s, he was playing like Snots,
Yeah.
like Basketball Diaries, The Beach. Those are like, he was playing Snots. I don't think he could he would have no. See, that wouldn't work either. I can't talk myself into it.
you tried.
Yeah,
you tried really hard there.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. Like as great as Leo is, he might be the best actor we have going right now, honestly. But
Tom Hardy would like to argue with you.
Nic Cage can Revenant the shit out of the Revenant, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, he would. I would pay money to watch that. Nic Cage in the Revenant.
See, those scenes where there was no dialogue, it's just Leo grunting for 75 minutes.
That's what Nick does.
Nick can do that. He can do that, and he can win an Oscar doing it too.
That's what he does.
Yes.
That's his forte, man.
A part of me thinks that like Tom Hardy was probably jealous that Leo got the lead role in Revenant.
Because he wanted to do that?
He could easily have done that, and better probably than Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Nick could totally have grunted for 75 minutes after being mauled by that bear. Now, the first like half hour of non-mauled Leo was all Leo. He can't be duplicated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that was a fun experiment. We have to try that on other movies, but
Cage 3-0.
I think Cage won 3-0.
3-0.
So before we wrap everything up, I just want to let you know, I haven't seen the second one. I don't know if you have.
Actually,
Treasure 2.
surprisingly, I haven't seen it. I'm a bad Nic Cage fan. I just never came across it. Nothing against it.
Heard it was good, even though he had Bangkok dangerous hair in that movie.
Hey,
it was definitely a hairpiece.
Yes. Let's see what it will take a Nic Cage movie with ridiculous hair for us to get into the Nic Cage hair debate.
Yeah,
that's coming up. But I want to see the second one just for the fact that I was just reading up on the plot. Somewhere along the line, like there's a rumor that the Gates family was involved in the Lincoln assassination, and he's trying to clear their name. I love it. I'm in already. I'm in. Already in.
And it's got basically all the cast. Jon Voight is not back, but Ed Harris is in the second one apparently.
Same thing. Let's mix one for match one. That's fine. Ed Harris is a better babyface than Jon Voight is. I feel he's a better good guy.
So if the news broke that the third one was coming out, would you rush to see the second one?
Of course. And like the third one is always pending. It's always pending.
So latest news, as of March 4th, Disney's CEO responded to a question saying, "We've done two, and yes, they were really fine movies. I know Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced them, has had conversations with our studio a number of times about it. There's been some developments along the way, but as of right now, we're not greenlit, as we say, a National Treasure 3. But I do know there is a time and some resources spent on development. That's all I can tell you." Sounds like it's coming.
That sounds like movie purgatory to me.
Sounds like it's coming.
That sounds like it's never being made.
Sounds like it's coming. Would they not do it because Nic Cage isn't as marketable now?
No, because I feel like this franchise is a moneymaker. There should have been 12 of these by now. But that right there, that little snippet right there, just makes it seem like I've read about movies that sound like this, about they think they're coming out and they never come out.
That is Ari Gold speak right there.
Yeah.
No, but all I'll say is, they make 1 million Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, come on, you could make this movie that people will go to see this.
They got to be cheaper than Pirates too, right?
They don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They drive around in the United States.
It's just a big freaking treasure hunt.
The rumor, though, for the third one was that Nic Cage wanted to take it international.
Ooh.
So my question to you, sir, is, we talk about colons on the show all the time.
Yeah.
We had National Treasure 1. No one, really, just National Treasure.
Yeah.
The second one, National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets. What are you calling the third one? National Treasure 3?
If he's talking about going global, then it's obvious it's a National Treasure 3, International Treasure.
Or is it just National Treasure with a 3 in it? Like, you know?
National 3-er.
Like what I would do is, I would just call it straight up International Treasure.
Yeah, International
and then with
Treasure.
Treasure, you have the E's as 3s. That's what I would do. Or you could call it International Treasures. Like, you could just have multiple movies. This thing will print money.
National Treasure 3, International Incident.
The International
Boom.
Incident. That's what I'm saying.
Boom.
National Treasure 4. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have to steal something. They could steal the
Big Ben.
Steal the Shroud of Turin.
Yeah.
You know, all these different things.
Ramses' corpse or something. His mummified body.
We have to open King Tut's tomb and get the tattoo off of his left ass cheek.
Yeah, man. Or we could keep it in the U.S. Oh man, we gotta steal the Statue of Liberty. Oh geez. Oh, there's an inscription on the bullet that shot Lincoln or JFK.
Call up David Copperfield, man. They could do that.
Get David Blaine's up in here. Do something.
Well, listen, I'm in for number 2 and 3. I think I will watch number 2 at some point. I haven't seen it.
Watching this has made me want to watch 2. Is it on HBO Go?
I haven't seen it on there.
One?
No,
this movie's on HBO Go if you have HBO and you want to brush up real quick. It's on FX like all the time, but if you have HBO Go, tune into National Treasure. We got to see if 2 is all there as well.
I haven't checked, but it's, I don't know if it's on Netflix either. But overall to say, I would definitely recommend that you watch this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's very good. It's very entertaining. It's not the greatest movie by any means, but it's, in my opinion, one of Nic Cage's most fun performances from just a regular movie standpoint. It's got a good story. Acting's pretty good. Overall, I really liked it. Definitely recommend that you watch it.
So real quick, like what's better for Nic Cage? So like Face Off is probably better.
Different genres, right?
Yeah. I mean, genres aside, I mean, you could say better or worse. I'd like if you told me I had to watch Nic Cage movies.
I'm going to watch Face Off.
So you watch Face Off.
I'll probably watch Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds is probably over. So that's debatable for other people. Raising Arizona is probably one that would maybe rank ahead of this one. A lot of people quote Raising Arizona as their favorite Nic Cage movie.
I actually love Vampire's Kiss, by the way.
Vampire's Kiss is very underrated.
This is better than that, though, I think. But Vampire's Kiss is a great movie. Con Air, I'm going to watch Con Air all the time.
Obviously. The Rock is another one.
I mean, they're different movies, though. You know what I'm saying?
One of his best movies is 8mm.
But
it's a hard watch, though.
Listen,
it's a hard watch.
I've never been able to bring myself to watch it because I've heard about it.
Well, I mean, it's not scary or it's not so brutal and so disgusting or anything.
No, it's just the subject matter.
The subject matter is kind of brutal.
That's the snuff film one, right?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's a good like detective movie. You got Joaquin Phoenix as a sidekick, sex shop worker.
Leaving Las Vegas is a good one too.
Leaving Las Vegas,
the Oscar winner.
Yeah. But I don't. Yeah, maybe National Treasure's bumped out of the top 5. There's so many good Nic Cage movies.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, it's hard to do it like that. If you give me other movies in the genre, maybe I would say this is his best one. But
as far as rewatchability goes, this one probably would leap some of those other movies.
Oh, listen, I could watch this at any time, at any moment. You just put it on, and I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also didn't mention this too. Does Sean Bean die in this? He dies in everything.
He does not.
So he does not die
unless he dies in prison.
He might die off screen.
He died in prison.
He died in prison before his lawyer could get him out.
Yeah.
He was awaiting trial.
Yeah.
So before we go, we got an iTunes review. Want to give a shout out to our newest reviewer.
So this one comes to us from iTunes. Superman Touchdown Jesus. 5 stars. Just outstanding, he says. I am not exaggerating when I say that listening to this podcast makes me enjoy watching movies more. I think it's an exaggeration. Let's see. Drew and Badway give excellent commentary and insightful reviews and analysis of countless amazing films, all while maintaining excellent chemistry and sound perspective. Highly recommend subscribing. Thank you, Superman Touchdown Jesus.
It's a great name, by the way.
I feel like that was like an expertly written
That was very well written.
Very articulate.
Yeah, thank you for leaving that review. Yeah. If you haven't had the chance to go to iTunes, just do a search for The Last Row Podcast. If you're not subscribed, if you are, it helps us a lot. Leave us a review. We'll give you a shout out on the show. Just want to say thank you very much. Special thank you to everybody that has left a review. If you're looking for us on the web, thelastrowpodcast.com. On Twitter at The Last Row Pod. We took a week off. That's where we typically post any type of hiatus that we need. We had a sabbatical, lots of fantasy football drafts this past week.
Some sicknesses.
I'm still sick, getting over it, but the show must go on. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheLastRowPod. Got a few new likes this past week. Thank you to everybody that went out to the page. Sent us a like, sent us a message. TheLastRowPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to shoot us an email, we will write back. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. So I think Sean Bean could be really good. I know, yeah. Just go with me.